Dexperience Digimon. Dexperience.
What's up?
How are we doing, Dexters?
Welcome to Dexperience, Dexters.
Gang.
Yeah, Dexters.
Coming at ya.
Today
Woo,
we're
woo.
talking about
Beaut.
the band episode.
Oh, and that's not B-A-N-D. It has nothing to do with
B-A-N-E-D.
with
And
musical
the
instruments.
episode is titled Beauty
And the Beach.
and the Beast. No, Beach.
And the beach.
Beauty
Now
and the
we-
Beat.
It's
We
a tale
watched-
as old as time.
The
A
Nicki
song as old
Minaj
as
song?
rhyme.
Hey guys, how we all doing today?
Good
Beauty and
thing.
the Beast.
Good.
It's good.
Busy
I'm
day.
Dennis, by the way.
Hi, I'm Logan.
Hey, I'm Harry,
Hello, I'm Oliver.
and we're the Dexperience.
And how are we doing today?
I'm good.
Oh, wow.
swell. I got a
Stole
question.
Harry's question.
I got a quick question for you guys.
It's
I'm-
Ah,
I just got a thanks for that. I just got a cheeky question. So I was in class on Zoom because that's how we still roll at the moment. With my students, and they thought I sounded American.
oh,
American.
yeah.
You
You're
You
Yeah.
sound
saying,
Welsh or like
American.
English.
Yeah, I just want to get you. Well, you guys have known me for like what three years. In your guys' cases, two and a
Yeah.
half for you.
Uh-huh.
Like, can you distinguish like that? I'm not American.
Yeah, you
Like,
Of
don't
course.
sound-
You don't
yeah.
sound
anything
American
like
at all.
American.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah, like not at all.
What about when you
Not
first
at
met me? If you can remember when you first.
I
Met me?
thought you were British.
No,
I thought you were British
I would
as
have
well.
said British.
I would have said like, yeah, like heavy British
Hmm.
Yeah.
accent.
What did you think? Do you think I was like Kiwi or?
I don't know. I didn't really. I'm not smart enough to distinguish
That's fun.
accents.
Well, I'm glad this episode. I'm glad this episode's been about me. This is great. Well, we should move
Oliver's
on
not smart.
Yeah, that's right. That's
From
what we
that.
gained from that.
So I've got a comeback game from
then. Woo!
a few episodes
Don't
ago.
call it a comeback.
This one's
say
called Harry was the champion last time of this game.
Oh, I was.
This game is called
Oh.
Guess That Move.
Ooh.
So
it's
you
the
guys-
resurgence.
I'm gonna read out the description for a move and then slowly
Nice.
reveal
Hide your phone better because I can see.
steal over.
I can.
It's a steel type.
No, I'll slowly
Okay.
reveal
Iron
more
Hand.
and more of the moves. So
Okay.
what are your guys' calls? So I know the
Um,
buzzer, so I can recognize it if I'm not.
Swinum.
I'm gonna go. My name's
mine.
Chef.
No, it's gonna be a Pokemon.
My name's Chef.
It's
Okay,
not a Pokemon.
I'll think of one.
Never shift. I just did mine. Swinub.
Okay.
I'll be Squirtle.
Okay.
Swinums.
Magikarp.
Cool.
Okay. And then we're gonna go first to 3. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I almost said the name. Inflicts damage, hitting the target 2 to 5 times per use.
Magikarp.
Yep.
Swinub.
Fairy attack.
Nah. Oliver?
Bullet seed.
Nah.
Squirtle.
Yeah.
Ice ball.
Nah.
Swinub.
Magikarp.
Rock blast.
Nah. Harry?
Oh, what's Swinub?
Oh, hold on.
Squirtle.
Nah, I haven't
Saying
got one.
those.
I haven't
Okay.
got one.
Oliver?
Tail slap.
Nah.
Double slap.
Yeah.
Ah.
We, like, listed
Right,
all
because
of
it was,
them.
like all of them. Double slap as well. That always annoyed me because it was like more than 2. So it was like, why is it double?
Okay. Dennis, you want to hold a finger up?
You don't cover my head.
It's fine.
Uh,
it's an improvement.
Poisons
Oh.
the target. Poison and steel type Pokemon are unaffected.
Magikarp.
Yep.
Toxic.
Nah.
Squirtle.
Yep.
Poison powder.
Yep.
Ah. That was a 1 of 2 chance
Jeez.
there.
Oh,
Okay. Here we go. I'll go this one next.
just quick round.
Yeah. Dennis is
Don't
wrecking.
get cocky.
Allows the user to select one of the target's moves.
Magikarp.
Yep.
Mimic.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Nice. Catching
Quick round.
Increases the user's defense by 1 stage.
Magikarp.
Yep.
Withdraw.
Nah.
up.
That's what I was
Squirtle.
gonna say.
Yep.
Defense curl.
Yep. Dennis.
Yeah! Quick round.
Alright.
I didn't get a
I
single
got
one.
because you're
Oh, it's
stupid. We
okay.
established
You're
that.
the competitive one. Isn't it? The one that does.
Oliver.
Oh, I don't know.
Oliver, do you want to try guess this one?
Yeah, just for me.
Yeah.
Let's-
Sound
Just
sick.
to
Just so
redeem
you get something.
yourself.
This
Yeah.
is like giving the kid the unplugged controller.
Does damage
knows.
and has a 33.2% chance of lowering the target's attack stat by 1 stage.
I know. Wait, how much damage does it do?
Good luck.
It
Did
does.
you say?
No, I didn't say. It does
Oh.
6. It has 65 power,
Okay, well, I know Play Rough does, but it's not Play Rough. So it's
100%.
90 base.
100% accuracy.
I don't know this.
And
What
it can
type
lower
is it?
attack.
It's an ice
Oh, it's
type.
an ice move. I know breaking swipe, the new dragon type move, lowers attack.
It's an ice move.
It's avalanche doesn't. Ice punch doesn't. Punches.
Bing, bing, bing.
Magikarp.
Bing, bing. Yeah?
Oh no, I forgot. Is it powder snow?
No.
It's not. What's one that's super effective against water moves?
That's freeze dry. It's not that.
It's not that.
No.
An ice move that lowers attack? I don't
Yeah,
never
I've
heard of that.
It was in Generation 1.
It's a
Generation 1.
Wow.
Ice beam doesn't. It's not ice beam.
Magikarp!
Square it up.
Magikarp!
Aurora Beam.
Yeah,
That's the one.
That lowers attack.
This was Oliver's
Yeah.
question.
The internet's neck and neck
just-
for that.
I had no idea that
That's
lowers attack. Is it? Wow, that's pretty good.
That's alright.
Is that still in the current Sword and Shield as a move?
Yeah, it's still in the game. Yeah.
Because that's a good competitive
I'm
move.
gonna-
Well, it's
I
quite weak
don't
though.
know.
It's 65 power.
You don't want to
Yeah,
but you
could
don't
use
want to
Ice
lower
Beam.
attacks in competitive. You want to buff your own one because people just switch out and null and void them.
Yeah, it's true.
See, I'm also learning competitive guys.
Does that happen when you switch out a
Yeah,
Pokemon?
it,
Your
like, stats
go-
reset.
your Stats
Yeah.
reset.
Even in forever.
Yeah, for all of them.
I used to think when I was a kid playing that when your Pokemon's attack got lowered in
It
a
was
battle,
forever.
it was until you took it to a
Oh,
Pokemon.
I thought it was
I
only
see.
when it was harshly dropped.
Yeah.
But
I used to
just
think
means it's
that
two
too.
stages.
Two
Yeah.
stages.
Okay, Dennis, do you want to give
Oh,
us a
yes.
description
I'm
of Beauty and the Beach?
I just want to say
It's
that
a-
I let all the fans down. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You
No.
have,
Yeah, you let
have
down
more
Team
chances.
Oliver.
No.
Sorry, Dexters.
We know there's some of you out there on Team Oliver.
Do you know what I was
No
thinking
unsung
about?
heroes
Do you
this
know? When do you think people are gonna start shipping us together?
Is that what you want?
Yeah, you know it happens. It
Who
totally
do you,
happens.
Who do you want to be shipped
Like they
with?
do it for the Game Grumps.
We
as
know
well.
we know that this is a no ship culture podcast.
What we totally.
Yeah, I've made that
Oliver,
clear.
very
no,
clear.
we ship. We ship.
I made that clear in
We
episode
ship.
2.
And when in
Oh,
our
this ship-
fanfic, we're
Only-
gonna
only the
we're
same
gonna
gang.
work it out, Oliver.
Speaking of ship in this episode,
Okay.
at least.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
It's a tale as old as time. It's Beauty and the Beach.
It's old as
Justin
time.
Bieber song.
Beauty and the
We
Beast.
come in with the characters have just the trio Ash, Misty, and Brock have just escaped from the giant island, and they reach what was it? Acapulco.
Porto Vista.
Porto Vista.
So close, Dennis. Yeah, what were you
That's
saying?
a real place, Dennis.
Is it Acapulco?
Acapulco, is it?
Acapulco.
Isn't it Okay, we'll look it up
Archivist?
later.
Okay.
Arctivish? Hey.
Articuno. Okay, so the trio, they've reached Porto Vista, and they're just enjoying life. Ash and Brock, they go into this water, and then and everyone's in their swimsuits. We see a lot of swimsuits. Everyone's in a swimsuit.
Because they're on a beach.
Yeah, it's quite fun. And then Brock and Ash see Misty dressed in like a bikini, like 2-piece, and they're like, "Whoa, we didn't expect you dressed like a girl before. That's different." And then Misty like kind of bitch slaps him, which
You know,
I
she
think
wears
is,
a crop top and jean shorts.
yeah, she wears. I feel like she
Fair
doesn't
point.
even wear that much less than what she usually wears. But anyway,
Good point.
we see dun 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 in the water the Gyarados sub, and in there Team Rocket.
I think you should clarify that it's not a Subway sandwich; it's a submarine.
And also that it's the first instance of the Gyarados submarine.
Yeah, I always thought, it would be the Magikarp sub anyway.
Spoilers.
But anyway,
Yeah, that is. I don't know.
you see them, they get on a boat and they have a joyride, and then they have this funny exchange where they don't realize that none of of them know how to drive a boat, and it's only the 3 of them on the boat, and they crash into a dock. And once they crash into the dock, they run into the old man who owns the boat and the pier,
Mo.
named Mo,
Mo.
yes, voiced by Maddie
Moses Lack.
Blaustein. May she rest in peace. And Mo is like, "Oh my god, how am I gonna pay off this boat, this pier?" And like he gives them a lot of flack, but then Ash kind of mitigates the situation by kind of hiding behind Misty and letting Misty kind of distract Mo, I guess. And Mo kind of like skeezes on Misty for a bit, which is kind of weird. And anyway, so the Rockets were also caught in that crash, and the Gyarados sub got totally totaled. So both Ash, Misty, Brock, they have to work off the damages, and Team Rocket also have to work off the damages. So the trio, they go work for oh my gosh, what's happening? They're like
Shipping.
they were
Shipping,
like
that's what's
almost
happening
kissing
there.
behind me. So Ash, Misty, and Brock go work for Mo's little hutch shoppery, and James, Jesse
Restaurant.
restaurant.
What
That's
the hell's
right.
a shoppery?
Yeah, wait, what? Yeah, it's
Sorry
a
to-
restaurant.
Sorry to interrupt the recap.
It's
What's a shoppery?
It's a totally cromulent word.
It's
thank
canon.
you.
We
It's
have
canon
supermarkets, superettes, restaurants, and cafes, and now
Oh,
shopperies.
shoppery.
Guys, just off to the shoppery real quick.
Yeah,
Sorry, please carry on with your recap, Dennis.
it's gonna happen.
Hope we see more shopperies.
So then, Jesse, James, and Meowth, they run into, I think her name was Brutalia. Or
That's right,
Nastasia.
Brutalia.
Brutalia. This one's
Nestina
Brutalia.
was the other one.
That's right. Yeah. So this takes place before the Tentacruel and Tentacool episode, which is why it's like, it takes place in that part of the canon, and so they both, I guess they're just working, and Brutalia's restaurant is doing very well for itself.
Thank you for correcting yourself.
It's doing very well for itself, and they're like cannibalizing all Mo's customers. But Ash, Misty, and Brock, they're not gonna have any of it. So they decide to send out their Pokemon to help set up the shop, and they do so. They have, which I think is a OHS like nightmare, but anyway,
What
We'll
does
talk
that stand-
about
what
it.
does that stand for?
we'll talk about
Health,
it later.
health
Oh,
and safety.
I should know that.
Yeah. And
Consider
so
you run a cafe by yourself.
they use their Pokemon to kind of give themselves an upper edge, but then the Team Rocket notices this, and Meowth goes in and sabotages them. So then it kind of undoes a lot of their...
You just turned into the Proclaimers.
It's in Australian.
It's my Australian slipping out. It kind of undoes all the issues that they've been having. So then,
I need 5 minutes.
Start the episode. Yeah.
so okay, where was I? Okay, they get sabotaged by Meowth, and it undoes all of their hard work. And then they're at their lowest point. You know, Mo's about to give up on his dream of traveling on the ocean, but Ash, you know, won't let that happen, and he kind of gives Mo a speech. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, Professor Oak appears alongside Ash's mother, Delilah Ketchum.
I never knew that was her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how in your note you didn't write Ash's mum, you wrote Delilah. Like,
Yeah, that's what her
So
name
is
is.
that-
I never knew that. Have I said that?
And Delilah is also
Oh, thanks, man. Representing more
sporting-
Welsh people.
sporting. She's looking mighty fine, I must say. And
That's good.
so then they decide that they find out that Oak kind of lets them know that there's a beauty competition, and they decide that, you know, we should totally drum up business by like advertising the beauty competition. And it kind of looks like they're kind of organizing it, but it's not really certain if they are organizing it, because Brock is like he's like the announcer guy, like announcing everything that's happening.
And Oak tells a 10-year-old Misty to enter.
Yeah. So it's a beauty
True.
competition,
Gosh.
and you know it's a beauty pageant / cosplay competition. And Misty says in one of the lines, "This is totally embarrassing and degrading, but we need the money, haha," which I think is I really like that line.
Yeah, it's a good line.
There really was a direct quote, yeah. Wow.
And the version we watched had like the Japanese cut bits edited back into it. So like we have the Janes with inflatable boob scene here. It was all lots of fun. Gary shows up. They have the thing, and eventually Brutalia like wants to interrupt the competition and ruin their business. So she employs Team Rocket to go in and essentially like jaws up the place by like having Gyarados like go on land and scare all the people away. But Ash kind of like gives a inspirational speech and tells them that like they shouldn't be afraid and that it's a fake Gyarados. And
This is Team Rocket Submarine.
yeah, from the Gyarados. And then the Gyarados fires a missile at everyone, I guess, on the beach. And then somehow Brock is a munitions expert and can notice that those missiles are heat-seeking missiles. So Ash, he tells Ash, and then Ash sends out Charmander to kind of like mess with the rocket's detection systems by using flamethrower on it. And it kind of reverts and just circles back and hits Team Rocket. And then it kind of hits Brutalia as well, I think. And then
Yeah,
they fall into their shop, ruining Brutalia's shop. and then they help. So eventually they help Mo pay off their boat. It's an emotional farewell for Ash and Professor Oak and his mom, and he says, "I'm gonna make you proud of me," and then that's it. And we see the final close up on the trophy, which, I'm not sure if it is in the actual version, but it's like first place in our hearts.
Yeah, the version we watched it was in Japanese.
Yeah.
The-
Well, just
that's
assumed it
certain
was like-
clips. Yeah.
Ash's mom, Delilah, won the bikini contest.
Yeah,
Because-
Best looking
Wait,
or something.
normally in
In
the English dubs, they also change
words.
like the writing as
I
well.
think what they did was they did cut that bit out of like
Okay.
where they zoom in on the trophy, so she's just holding the trophy, so you
And so
kind
it
of
looks like
assume
she
that
won.
she
She's got to
did win.
assume that she won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Ash, it actually is Ash, and it's cut out, but Ash actually wins, like for saving everybody.
For giving the
basically.
best emotional speech
Yeah.
ever, besides Pikachu and the Tentacruel vs. Tentacruel one.
Yeah.
But that's
and that
next
was
episode
episode. That
we
was
use.
Beauty and the Beach.
Okay.
Pretty good episode, eh?
My favorite part. Before we get into probably arguing with each other
Yeah. it's gonna be
about
good.
why it should or not should be banned, I'm just gonna quickly go over a more lighthearted area of do we think that Delilah, Ash's mum, and Oak are
Yes.
getting busy?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well,
It's
Because
like-
Oak has like messy hair, and they're both like wearing. Like,
I didn't notice
casual
that.
clothes.
Yeah.
His hair is like how mine is like messy at the top, but then like all
What
sideways.
are you saying?
though.
What are you
Messy at
saying?
the top
huh?
and sideways at the bottom.
Yeah,
What are you?
his hair's sideways, so they're getting
I don't know,
frisky.
no, I think with that, it's just that he's on holiday.
Okay, I don't know.
But like for sure, they're doing
Yeah.
something. The bollocks excuse of being like, oh, we're home with the palette touring group. Like, nah, you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah,
are just
that's
on
why
a
there's
plane.
only two of you there.
Yeah, you just happen to run into Ash. Like you were thinking he's traveling to
Yeah.
Kanto,
Yeah.
but he ends up going to an island that you're at.
Yeah.
How unfortunate. Let's just cover it by making a whole bikini
yeah,
contest.
And
tour
we
group.
never meet Ash's dad.
Mr. Mime.
So,
Mr.
so I
That's
think
right. Yeah,
It is
I
Mr.
brought
Mime,
that up,
confirmed.
a while ago.
so-
But yeah, I think they're definitely together. 'Cause just the fact that they've been shown together, I feel like a few times now, maybe.
I kind of get like the reason why, because I guess Oak is kind of like a father figure for Ash,
Yeah.
so he needs to be there. But it just plays to the theories that they're actually just seeing each other.
And this is like the first time Misty and stuff all meet Oak actually in person.
Oh,
for
it
the
is.
first time.
Yeah, you're right.
Reminds
Oh,
me
sure,
of which game? I think it's the 6th generation game with Professor Sycamore. He
Mug.
he writes you a letter. I know he has a letter to like give to
Yeah.
your mum. And then I'm seeing like memes where it's like the mum opening the letter and it's like nude photos of
Is
him.
that-
Oh my god.
It's a shame that this episode's banned because we see a lot of recurring characters
Yeah.
like Oak, Ash's mom, Gary.
maybe.
Yeah, Gary
we
was
see, we see
prominent.
Should we
the
talk
debut
about-
of the Gyarados sub.
Gary
why
was
this episode banned?
Yeah,
With
that's
what?
a pretty major topic. What
Gary?
year? What year
What
was
does
it banned?
Gary
Did
say?
it come out?
Gary?
Was it banned?
Let me dial up the bulb.
Probably
It
good
was
to
like
know.
2000, I think.
yeah,
it came out.
when it came out like normal time, it was aired in Japan.
So it was aired
97.
in Japan.
It was aired in
and-
America as well.
and it was aired in
It was
America.
twice.
It was. I think what
They
it was
did
aired
one.
twice.
They did one rerun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rerun, and then
That was it.
that's a hard
Oh.
word to say.
Rerun.
And then
Rerun.
okay, you guys all
Run
did
by
it. That's
JoJo's
good.
my favorite song.
And then they stopped airing it because of
Because some people got upset.
Yeah,
offended.
well,
You know what?
Kidding,
I
kidding.
feel like I remember watching this episode when it in Australia, like at least once.
Oh yeah.
Because I imagine that
I
Australia
vaguely
would have
feel
had.
it.
What
the
did you think?
same-
Wait,
we
how
would
old
have
are
had
you?
the same release schedule as
really
America,
young.
just behind.
Well, they
you phased
this
at all?
episode as well. It ended up being a lot shorter because they cut out like a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was
just
like
to be appropriate.
3-4 minutes shorter than a normal episode.
That's
Ah.
big for a 20-minute show. Like,
Yeah, that's like
a
25%
decent-
nearly.
Yeah, it's a decent chunk. But so the main reason it was banned, I guess, is because James
His
was seen.
implants.
Well, James had boobs.
Is that the main reason?
There,
Do we know that?
I would
And actually,
argue
wait,
there-
scroll up.
Oh yeah.
It does say that like it's James. It was James's boobs.
'Cause-
People found
yeah.
it offensive.
I would find-
There was the over sexualizing and making the boobs so large and stuff that
Yeah.
turned people off.
Okay.
And also
But I
keep in
would.
mind that this was dubbed by an American company, and
Mhm.
I
Oh,
remember
yeah,
that
they're
South Park
very-
episode where they had like all those guns and violence, but
Yeah.
then they like showed like I think it was like nudity or something that was like offensive.
Yeah, America's very against sexual anything sexual on screen.
That's the whole thing with the FCC. They're very
That makes sense
mental
then.
sex,
It was
but not
also
violence.
kind of weird when Mo kind of like went up and leered at Misty.
That was gross.
But
That
he
was
doesn't.
gross.
But he.
Gross.
I saw him more making eye because like maybe I was like writing a note down and I didn't see him leering for long. But he does say the line, "You remind me of my granddaughter."
That's what makes it more creepy.
Yeah, dude.
But
Like,
I didn't
makes
recognize.
me
I
think
thought he
he's
was just
preying
like
on his
looking at her
granddaughter.
face, but I didn't see him looking up.
there was a shot of Mo with he was blushing. His
Yeah.
jaw
Oh, okay.
was dropped. His
I
eyes were
didn't see
wide,
that
and
shot.
saying,
Yeah.
"You remind me of my granddaughter."
Yeah.
Creepy.
Okay, that's really
Yeah,
gross.
it
this
was
is like
nasty.
this was the
That's
fan
disgusting.
service episode of I guess this series because like in anime it's quite common to have like quotation marks fan service where it's like
Well-
all the cast go to the beach and an excuse for everyone to wear like swim trunks and like bikinis.
Oh yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? Like a
Yeah.
beach episode. Even Avatar: The Legend of Aang has that.
Yeah,
There's
and
Christmas
it's-
episodes as well, stuff like that, I guess.
and you see that like even Shulk in Super Smash Brothers, he has like that.
Well, that's because you can actually play him in his underwear
is
in the
fan
game.
service.
Yeah,
I would say, but I mean, I'm all for like equal opportunity fan
there's actually
service.
there's a costume in the game
Yeah.
called swim trunks, which
Yeah,
make
yeah.
the swim speed doubled.
So it's like
Well, there you
based
go.
off
It's
of
an
from
actual
the game.
game.
Which is like it's a common in like in Japanese culture. It's very common to kind of have that kind of like fan service episode.
Interesting. Why is that? Just because they know like fan bases really get invested in characters and like they do things like ship characters and like get real invested in their kind of like
Yeah, and
love
it's
lives and stuff.
well,
So is that a
it's-
reason to do that?
it's
Is
nice
that
to
where
see
it
the
stems from?
characters like just slightly out of the normal element,
Yeah.
Mhm.
doing things that we do.
It's
Like
good to
go
have
to
a
the
day
beach.
off.
It's
Right.
as well. It's kind of like that. What's the word? Voyeuristic thing where you do see people like
It's a fancy word.
in that.
Actually,
in
I'm
that-
what does it mean? I
in-
don't know.
Like voyeurism, like living through, like
It's it's like voyaging, like all of his travel.
there you go.
voyeurism.
I got it
is-
now.
Okay, it's like Big Brother, how like you can watch people and they maybe don't know that they're being watched, or
I mean, you would hope so, but hope
Yeah,
that they know.
like
That's what I mean.
it's just like kind of like the idea of like spying on someone. It's like that seeing
Okay.
people when they're like at the weakest,
Right.
or like at their vulnerableness,
Okay.
which you are at the beach because you're just wearing like swim trunks.
Squimp.
So
Right, which-
rerun and swim trunks.
Swim
What's
trunks.
it for me and
I
you?
stand
and
by it.
we'll
and
find out.
shoppery.
Shoppery.
Thank you very much.
Shoppery. Yeah, that was a
It's
good
like
one.
a thing Mr. Burns would say. It's like off to the shoppery.
That was a good impression.
Thank you.
But yeah, man, like so. Well, my belief is that the reason it was mainly banned was because of James and his inflatable boobs.
I think that was a big part of
Yeah.
it. They had to like cut around a lot. Like it was skimpy swimwear and everything. And like if they want to get this to air, they couldn't get this to air in a lot of like Middle Eastern countries,
Yeah.
for instance.
Actually, the next episode as well is banned from.
Tentacool and Tentacruel.
No, not the next episode. Sorry,
The next one,
The Ghost of Maiden's Peak.
Ghost of Man's Peak was actually banned from a few places because of
The spirituality.
Yeah,
aspect.
spirituality.
I did
Oh.
not know that. We'll
Fact.
save that for that
Yeah.
episode. I'm
That'll be
intrigued by
good.
that.
Once we do it 2
Wowzers.
episodes from
Yeah.
now.
Woo-hoo.
It's
Go ahead,
the
Dennis.
thing is like there are so many things that I find quite problematic with this episode that I think I'm not sure if that was entirely the reason it was banned, but you have stuff like Ash and Brock being like, "Oh, it's weird seeing you dressed like a girl,"
Mhm.
and like I
Mhm.
find that super problematic because Misty's always been a girl, as far as we know, and she's always dressed like a girl.
It's
and,
The way she would normally
And-
dress isn't anything
and that's like
outside
that
the
is such a
idea
common. It's a
of a
common.
girl.
Well, it's a common trope in Japanese, like certain Japanese media, where the tomboyish girl is like, and the boys don't view her as a girl
Uh-huh.
in that kind of.
Yeah.
They say it kind of like that, and like it might have been a weird way of translating it, but it was just like implying that she wasn't a girl just because of what she was wearing or
It's,
like how she looked.
However, they did get like punished for it.
They
You
did.
know.
But-
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's
they
always
got
said,
that
like,
right.
Yeah. So
that master ball, like blow up, like inflatable ball. Is
that's pretty
sick.
good. That's pretty
It's
And
good.
like you see that, like luckily with most shows, I've currently been rewatching Friends because it's on Netflix. Yay! But Ross in the first season kind of does make a big deal about his ex-wife being a lesbian, and it's like kind of awkward. But there's a lot of times he's put in his place about that, which is what you need in that situation.
Yeah.
Like this episode's certainly a product of his times. But for the reasons why it was banned, it didn't need to be banned.
Yeah. Well, I kind of do argue that like I think it kind of I personally for me I see like I understand why it shouldn't be banned. I like the episode. But a part of me is also like I'm kind of I'm okay with it being banned as well.
Mhm.
Like I'm thinking, well, it's not a big loss because
No.
of
It's not an important episode.
partly because of the way that it presents, like, well, it has like a beauty pageant where like it kind of, well, I don't like beauty pageants to begin with.
Nah, yeah, they're bad.
Which is like, but the idea of like using your physicality exclusively for women, like, I mean, if guys were in it as well, maybe I'd be like, cool, that's kind of new and edgy. But like
New and edgy.
I mean, like,
I don't know
there
if
isn't.
that's new and edgy.
I mean, like, if you had like an equal, I don't know.
I can see where you're coming from. I mean, Oliver, actually, we watched it together. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
This episode doesn't really do much with the Pokemon, so why couldn't they have a
No.
Pokemon battle, like a Pokemon contest for money, instead of a beauty?
Because that's in the games.
Yeah,
you
actually,
have
I
like a
was-
beauty
I
contest
have it in
for
my notes
Pokemon.
actually.
Sure.
This was like one of
Yeah.
probably like where Pokemon contests, like this was probably the first like beta Pokemon contest.
Because you see the Pokemon's dressed up, like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Starmie
yeah.
on the
Sure.
Squirtles
They
UFO
have, like-
was amazing.
That's
have,
actually
like,
that was pretty cool.
appeals and
Yeah.
And
everything.
actually, though, do you know what was creepy? I think another reason why this is banned is Misty is 10 years old,
yes.
Yes.
wearing a bikini and like, and they cut off. I told you guys before they cut off in the original one before they went back and re-edited heaps because of is it Polygon? What's his name? Porygon. Because like once the Porygon episode aired, they went back and like changed heaps of stuff that like heaps of
Yeah.
lights and stuff, and they cut out as well in this episode like a subliminal like image that shows up of Misty wearing a bikini
Insane.
and Pikachu holding up like those signs he holds up
Yeah.
in charades.
That's
and stuff.
crazy. That's, oh my gosh.
But very creepy episode
Yeah.
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 because Misty's 10 years old.
I'd argue that's more evidence to ban it on, other than James essentially cross-dressing. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong
in the-
with that.
Well, in the Pokemon fandom at the time,
Mhm.
when everyone was talking about, oh, why is it banned? Like that was a smoking gun. I think I used that right. Where like James's boobs
Yeah.
and James also
Uh-huh.
being like biologically, visibly, you can kind of see that,
Literally inflated and
he seems
under
like a
boob
woman.
inside a boob popping out.
which is like, I mean, that's kind of problematic in its own ways, but it's probably not like in the way that they would have thought.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder whether it would have been banned if James had implants, but there wasn't the whole thing where they like inflate and get super big.
Mm.
Because I know how touchy America is with like
Yeah.
over sexualization,
Well,
and I
they-
wonder if that is what pushed it, or if it was just the fact that a man had implants.
I think the thing is though that was just like they could cut that bit out and then like, but then I feel
Well-
like maybe they had to cut out too much.
I think I think if you cut out Team Rocket, or like James, so it is both of Jesse and James. Like you cut them out, all that you would have to really do in the dub is have Brutalia saying like, "Oh, I know you guys are Team Rocket, so I'm hiring you guys to do this."
Yes.
Yeah, that's essentially what they did in the English version.
Yeah. So I
just
don't think it's
imagine
actually.
for the-
And you got to place
Cut
it.
out
You got to
that.
place it
Yeah.
as well. This episode aired in 2000. America was currently in a Republican presidentship, so of course they're gonna want to ban things that's sex and
Oh,
not
yeah.
violence to appeal to the
Yeah.
supporters and
and
appeal to the people that are funding them.
And we
But
have to
like
keep in
10-year-olds
mind-
is like 10-year-old
10-year-old
bikini is gross.
That's the line.
Yeah,
and
that
that's
is,
why
yeah.
that's the
Especially
reason
when
it should have been banned.
Squirtle, when he's being his UFO, does like a water fountain and it
Yes.
like sprinkles onto Misty.
Yeah.
It's really
Squirtle's
cool.
looking cute as hell.
It's
though.
it's
Yeah.
not even just the fact that they're like 10-year-olds in bikinis. It was it was sexualized. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty explicit.
And we have to keep in mind that this is a very like as you said, 2000s America, and you reminded me about like how at the time there was this whole Pokemon mania,
Yeah.
and people were
Uh-huh.
like in churches. Some churches,
Oh,
they were
yeah,
like,
uh-huh.
Pokemon's demonic.
Yeah.
Pokemon is it's dog fighting. Pokemon is tainting our youth and corrupting our children. There was that kind of logic around it, and like probably having such like a kind of episode that could be read as quite overly sexualized could be kind of
It could further damaging to the brand.
And there was that whole stuff about Jinx as well,
Mm.
and even Brock got like some flack from certain people because of how he was presented.
So
Yeah.
the one line that really grinded my gears is actually in the scene where James inflates his boobs. It's just before he does that.
so
He
ridiculous.
says to Misty, "You're 10 years too late to enter this contest."
No, I think he said
early.
You're 10 years,
10 years
early.
too early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sorry, 10 years too early.
So she's 10, but we found out
I mean-
Team Rocket's 20.
But we know that the show is aware that Misty is a 10-year-old during her spaghetti
Right.
contest.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's
Yeah.
pretty.
And they're like,
it's pretty
haha.
gross, man.
I
it's
really
really-
do like that line that Misty says where she goes, "This
It's pretty
is
degrading.
this is where is it? This is degrading and humiliating, but we need the money."
I guess.
Which I think was trying to walk that back a bit, like saving it. She was like, well,
One line isn't enough though.
yeah.
Yeah, she's only there
something
for
something
one.
important or interesting to look at would be with other animes that came out exactly at the same time. Is like, did they do the exact same thing? Like, is it like an inherently anime kind of Japanese thing for the time, or was it like Pokemon taking a step too far, or
No,
was it
no,
accepted?
this-
You gotta look at like
was everyone doing
the age appeal for the anime. So Pokemon is more for kids. So
Yeah.
probably the best comparison would be Yu-Gi-Oh! Years later.
Right.
You don't see people in bikinis,
You
but
got
you
Dragon
do see
Ball.
women in kind of
Uh-huh.
scantily clad clothes.
Yeah.
You have Dragon Ball. I haven't seen Dragon Ball,
That's
so I
yeah.
can't give an
Like
example.
other comparisons.
From-
But when you watch like older anime, so like Full Metal Alchemist, like it's targeted towards an older audience,
Right.
so it's more appropriate.
yeah. Yeah.
But you do have like certain anime that have like debuted in Shonen Jump, like
Oh, yeah,
Naruto,
yeah.
Dragon Ball,
The mangas,
One Piece,
Magazines.
especially One Piece. Oh my gosh. And like a few of those others.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty sure it's
Yu-Gi-Oh!
part of that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! was
Yeah.
manga.
Well, the
Yeah,
first like few episodes of Dragon Ball, like the anime, are like Goku full on like feels up Bulma.
Really?
'Cause he's like-
a child.
Because he's like a child, so it is
Yeah.
different. And she's
Right.
like
Oh, yeah, I've
16, so
seen
she's like
that.
of age, I guess. But like, because like he's never
Yeah.
seen another human
Well, it's
being.
not like it's not.
It's not
presented as a
sexualized. It's
sexual
like
thing.
it's
Okay.
like he's like touching her because he's like, you don't have a penis, but I do.
Yeah.
But but like you have like Master Roshi in the Dragon Ball thing, who is whenever he sees like any girl, his mouth drops and his nose
The
starts.
creepy
bleeding.
old man's
And
a
you
good
have
trope.
to keep in mind that like in Japan they have like bathhouses and stuff,
Yeah.
and like it's way more accepted to be naked around people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like maybe this fan service as well was not considered more tame for Japanese audiences.
Does it still air? It never got banned in Japan, did it?
I'm
I'm
not
not
yeah,
sure.
does it still-
I wouldn't
yeah.
know.
I don't think
Um,
it. I only saw the American stuff in like basically every other country, but I didn't actually. Everywhere I was reading, it never actually was like also banned in Japan.
So this
not
is-
that I'm aware. Go
What
ahead, Oliver.
what episode is this? Episode 18.
18.
I feel like that's also because the whole idea you're saying how like there's like a fan service episode of like based on a beach and it's more laid back that a lot of like animes do. There's only episode 18 of the first season.
But think about it. That's 18 weeks. That's like a third
Yeah,
of the
but
year.
it's not like South Park where they write and record within a week.
They would have been
they're
planned
out.
out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know,
What do
it's
you
like
mean?
still.
So I'm saying they wouldn't have had like
The fans. Well, they had that. They had
I guess because
games.
Pokemon still was
Well,
massive.
Yeah.
yeah,
thing
and,
is, like,
yeah,
they
didn't
it's a
have the
third of the
characters,
year
though.
as
Fans of
well,
the
so they would have
anime-
like they would have known.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
a sure bet though to have like
Yeah.
the idea of fan service is to like kind of reinvigorate current fans and also draw in new fans
Uh-huh.
with like the appeal, I guess, of that kind of like
The appeal of sexual 10-year-olds.
yeah, it's like that kind of idea of like it's fun and look at them being
Right.
frivolous. And
So,
stuff.
so here's the question, guys.
Mhm.
Should this episode be banned? Yes or no? Dennis?
Wait, so can you for when this came out or now 2020?
Now,
No.
should it still be banned? I think it's
Should
very
it be
question.
allowed in syndication?
I think for me, I would say I'll explain why as well. I think it should, well, because of how it should remain banned, just because of how it has quite outdated gender politics, how it kind of treats Misty as kind of like a piece of meat rather than like a character, and like how they kind of give her flack for dressing as tomboyish essentially. How they have the beauty contest, which is just very like physical, like what kind of message is that sending children, you know, like that's a child looking at that, and James kind of taunts Misty about having the big boobs, even though this was cut, like about having the big boobs, and like Misty's like, oh damn. And I think they did even keep that bit with Gary having his like entourage. I don't think I mentioned
Yeah,
that. Gary has
that's
an
that's
entourage.
pretty disgusting.
We can
I
talk
hate
about
that.
this after that.
And the women
That
have
after.
like the, you know, they're all pretty shapely, and then Misty's kind of bemoaning, and it's like encouraging a really a standard of beauty that I think, especially as if you are a young girl, you're not going to have that kind of shapely figure, and like it's going to make them feel kind of quite self-conscious about that as well. And so in that way I feel like it's I feel like as well as that, the message that is the moral of like following your dreams has been done in other Pokemon episodes, and I argue better done as well. And what else? And the idea of I mean, I don't hate the episode. It has cute moments, but I also feel like it is outdated, and there are better ways of telling this kind of story.
Logan? He pauses
Before we
for-
went into this,
Dramatic.
when I was watching it in my office,
Yeah,
You were
I have an
watching this
office.
in your office.
Switch.
yeah, like I on my data though, so I
Okay.
wasn't using the company's
So
Wi-Fi
they
because
can't
just
find
in case.
Just in case what.
I would say this episode's not safe for work. Just so
Yeah.
if anyone wants to watch it.
How hard was it to find?
Not,
I just
not
googled
very.
it.
Okay.
I
What are
googled
we,
it, and it was
Daily
like
Motion?
the first link. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Daily Motion.
I came in here thinking, you know what? I understand why it was banned, but I was like, maybe it shouldn't be banned anymore, just because like people learn from watching things
Yeah.
like this, you know. But then, as we've been talking about it,
He's a changed man.
it's very creepy.
He's a changed man.
Like like everything you were saying, Dennis. I think it shouldn't. I think because I think nowadays people wouldn't get away with that. It wouldn't pass like all those gender politics and like unrealistic beauty and stuff. Nowadays that wouldn't pass. Like you wouldn't get that in a show now. But I think for like people who would be rewatching this, if anything, they'd be able to learn like how that's wrong
Yes.
from watching this. But I think 10-year-olds in bikinis is really creepy, so it probably should still be banned.
Oliver?
If this episode were to come out today, it would like instantly get flagged,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like there'd be so many complaints.
Hashtag cancelled.
And yeah, it would be cancelled. It would be super problematic. The Pokemon company would put out a statement and be like, "Oh man, the intern did this one. We don't even know how it got through."
Hey, we know Pokemon's pretty good with PR.
And they are right now.
Yeah.
But so for that reason, like it wouldn't be able to exist today. Like it just wouldn't. So like based on that, yeah, it should be banned. But I think Logan raises a good point that the Pokemon company would never do this, but it should be like it should be officially released in some kind of way. It won't, but just so you can like look back and say, because like this was okay for the time.
So you mean like one of those like old racist cartoons, and they have like someone coming up to be like, this was a product of its time, and it reflects what was socially acceptable at the time, but we do not stand by it now, and we believe that it should be around as a statement of that these issues or things were present, and that we shouldn't erase that.
I was just, I mean, yes, 100%, but I could have easily just made a joke about being like, no, I think we should bring it back because it's great ideals. But yeah, exactly, because like to have it out there and be like, it is a thing of its time, and like it was. I mean, I guess it wasn't accepted in America,
You gotta
but it was
from,
like,
you got to learn from like
Yeah.
your mistakes, and if you ban your mistakes, then no one can.
and
see
people
them.
should be able to say like, this is content that was coming out at this time, and like it was like applauded or it was accepted.
Well, this is the thing is like, if you wanted to
So
do
what does
that,
that
you
say?
need to like make it PG at least. You need to have.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
a
I
parent
think there's
look
definitely
around.
like when I say like maybe like it could still be re-released. There's probably definitely like Squirtle like raining down on Misty and stuff could be like cut out. Like the
I
hype
don't
is.
think that
I feel like-
I thought that was really because do you know what like a classic thing is like
Uh-huh.
wet T-shirt things and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
That's
right.
what I read
Right.
it as. So I'm like I imagine like they're making it wet so like
yeah.
I don't even want to say.
I feel
it's
like
gross.
there's
Crossed my
probably
mind.
some great literal like gender studies university papers on this episode.
Yeah.
Definitely.
like
I mean,
comparing
But
it.
like there's some of this
Uh-huh.
episode is great. Like they're basically like having a restaurant. Like who can
Yeah,
waste it?
that was cool. I like to see Bulbasaur as a waiter.
Oh,
That was
Harry
cool.
wants to talk.
Yeah.
I just want to give my opinion on if
Okay.
it should be banned or
Yeah,
not.
yes.
I for it being a project at the time, and we see this a lot with all the shows, Friends, How I Met Your Mother. It happens. There are things that are problematic and things that are wrong, hands down. Should it be banned is the question, and I believe at the time, yes. Not for the reasons which I've already said, which is James. I think for the reason for the treatment of Misty being a 10-year-old, but completely as you two have said, why can't it be released on DVDs now? Like, it's good for educational purposes. It's good for people who are the fans of the show. People who are going to buy it are going to be aware that it's on there.
Yeah.
It's a fun episode if you take away the creepiness and the perviness. It's a quite an interesting episode with a lot of recalls, a lot of comebacks from other characters. It doesn't do much for the story, but it's just a good time.
I guess is the Pokemon Company proud of it?
See, that's the question.
thing.
Yeah, that's the question.
They like is
Yeah.
Is
it's
it a good reflection of their work?
I think the whole fact that it did get banned would probably suggest no. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it.
I would like to know whether it got
Yeah.
banned in Japan because
But
maybe the Japanese audience and like the original animators maybe they stand by
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah, and there's also the thing like it's banned, but how it took what? It probably took Dennis. Because Dennis like sent it out.
found it
Yeah,
in
people
I
can
did-
find it.
I just
super
Googled
easy.
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
took 5 seconds. You can probably find it in
It's out there,
5
yeah.
seconds. Like,
Yeah.
so people who want to watch it can still watch it. So maybe maybe it shouldn't be on Netflix and stuff
No,
because
but
it
like,
doesn't.
like official licenses, like
Some
like
kind of
DVDs.
access.
Like I have the DVDs and it's not on the DVD.
Are they even
so
going to keep making DVDs now?
I'm still buying the Pokemon DVDs. They're
I
still
mean,
popping out.
They probably are. Maybe Blu-ray.
Eventually, not
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But as right now, probably still.
I mean,
But,
that's with all media. Is like
yeah, it's all
all
going.
media. If it's not archived
Yeah.
somewhere, it's
Video
like,
games won't be able to be on discs.
I like buying
Eventually.
a physical video game.
But
Um,
like, yeah, I mean, part of me, because I haven't seen this episode in so long, like I might not even have seen it as a child.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was so amazing to just rewatch a Pokemon episode
For
with
the-
like extremely fresh eyes.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Yeah,
Like-
I haven't seen it
Oh yeah,
at all
that's
before.
funny because
This
like
was-
that's
this
how
was-
me
this
and
was-
Oliver
yeah.
see every
This was new for me as well. I haven't seen it before.
It was like so nostalgic because like it was like I'd never seen this
Mhm.
like, and it was dubbed as well in English.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
just because like Guinness, like when the parts like that were cut out of the English dub were put in Japanese. I think I was writing a note, and then like
I switched to Japanese.
and then it switched to Japanese, and I was like I jumped. I was like
It's quite
surprised. I was
jarring.
like,
Only very minimal though. There's only a couple of
Yeah.
scenes.
yeah,
in
just because I
Japanese,
hadn't
so it's
heard,
still
I haven't
nice.
actually watched any Pokemon in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
It's quite good.
how did it-
They're very talented
Mm.
in the Japanese.
it's very odd because you said it did air. So
it did twice, and it
At
ran
least.
there
once,
wouldn't
and then
have
it had to
been-
Yeah,
re-
they would have cut those. Scenes
there wouldn't
out.
have been any Japanese, obviously, in the
No,
English.
the
So
version
they would've
that we
been cut.
watched on
Yeah.
Dailymotion, it re-added the clips in Japanese. to
Oh,
the-
I
think what they did was
see.
they got a lower quality rip and they just
Yeah.
put that over like a better
Right.
quality Japanese
Yeah.
version.
Cool.
Thinking back on it, like with the stuff cut out, like the episode doesn't even make any sense anyway. Like there's a few important plot hooks
Yeah.
for that episode that were cut out.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it would have been
And-
without it.
And the way that this links into the next episode, Tentacool and Tentacruel, there's like a character that's a sister of the character in this show, in this
Yes,
episode. Brutalia? or Nastasia or something?
Brutalia in this one.
yeah.
Real
And we'll
weird
talk about
characters.
This Tina.
You guys will hear us talk about that next week.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week.
That's interesting. Should we do some final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts.
I
as
feel
well.
like we haven't touched on all
we
the
haven't
restaurant
like
stuff.
touched on like
Well,
a
so
lot
this
of
is the
like,
main
detail.
thing
Well,
of the
I mean, to be
Yeah.
honest, there, like the actual episode itself, it is filler, and the only reason why it's interesting is because it's
banned,
But
yeah.
we should probably get our thoughts on the rest of the episode quickly.
Should we? Well, in our final thoughts, we can probably give a
Oh, yeah.
quick,
Yeah, that
sounds
good.
quick comment on like all
Dennis,
the
wanna
other
go
ones
first?
that we
Yeah,
listed.
I've still got like there's mention. Okay, there's crab cakes and squids on sticks, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
was always mentioned. Another food, Pokemon food,
Yeah.
are being eaten. Check.
Animals definitely exist. I think we can
Mhm.
say for sure.
I really liked how Team Rocket acted
No,
kind
Oliver.
of like. I liked how Team Rocket acted like high school bullies.
Oh, yeah,
with,
that was
like
great.
Brutalia, where they're like, "Yeah, and take that." And whatever. I was like, that's so like, that's so good.
Like a
I-
Stephen Sondheim musical.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I don't know. I'm a theater student.
And I liked how Ash used his Pokemon.
Get your degree out of here.
I like how
I'll bring it with me.
it's useful everywhere. I liked how Ash used his Pokemon to help with the shop because it was just like, go my servant, serve me.
Yeah, no Butterfree though.
Yeah.
I think the only one that didn't make sense in the show because you had Squirtle and Pikachu were outside.
Handing flowers.
Bulbasaur was because like he was a good waiter because he has his
Vines.
vines. The only one that didn't make
Charmander.
sense was Charmander.
What?
Because
Yeah,
that
you're
thing
right.
that thing would have already been hot and cooking.
Yeah, I was saying to
If
Oliver.
anything, Charmander burning would just burn the food.
Yeah, that's what Harry
if,
said.
if, if the flame's too hot, it will burn the outside and leave the inside raw.
Yeah.
That's how cooking works.
Is it?
Yes.
So like, Dennis, you
Well,
work at a
Well,
You
chicken-
work at a
you
restaurant.
cook
I know.
chicken.
I
you
do.
work at a shoppery, Dennis.
I do work at a shoppery.
Yeah.
But listen, the Charmander is the same as like gasoline, for instance. It's like the.
I know,
it
but
takes
like
the
all
place
he's
of
doing
gas.
is just
Bit
like
degrading
making
to
it
the
hotter, not
Charmander.
like speeding up the.
You're just gasoline Charmander.
That's all you are.
And I loved Meowth.
Meowth sabotaging them. Oh my
Sabotage.
god,
Yeah, that was cool.
that was like when
was
Meowth was pumping
mean.
oil into.
Yeah, he could have killed
He could
them.
have killed them.
He could have been. He would have burnt the whole.
He
place
could have
down.
killed them several times, like Misty and Bulbasaur with the banana peels. as
Yeah,
well,
that was
like,
pretty
making
funny.
them
They
slip
they
up.
slipped
Yeah,
and like landed on their
Classic
necks.
Drake and
Oh my
Josh
gosh.
gag.
But anyway, it's totally like I just imagining the health
Damn,
code
Megan.
violations there. Like imagine like you're just eating and there's like a leaf in your food.
Well, I mean,
from
even
a
the fact that
Bulbasaur.
like Ash and Brock was shirtless, so that's straight away a violation.
well, is it?
Yeah, you can't be. You have to wear clothes.
Dennis
What,
is like,
even
wait
at
a
the-
second.
What even at the beach?
Yes.
Dennis
Yeah.
is like, at my shopper, I never wear a shirt.
Yeah, it was,
We wear what we want.
the thing is like, oh okay,
Yeah, you have
I
to wear
mean-
clothes. It's just safety for yourself.
but this is like I don't know. It's like a little hatchery.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're cooking with hot oil. You have to wear
Yeah,
Have
clothes.
you,
Yeah.
But Dennis, you've been to restaurants and things like
Shoppers.
near shopperies near
But what
beaches.
about, like,
Logan.
have I?
Have you not?
Well, like like what in Southeast Asia or something? They don't wear like sometimes they don't wear shirts in Southeast Asia.
To be fair,
like
it's bloody hot
tropical.
there, though. But
Yeah,
they
it's
don't
very
have the
hot.
same health code violations that America or why did I say America as the Western world would.
Yeah.
I assume at least. That's me assuming.
Yeah, I've never seen
Don't
the
cancel me.
topless waiter in New Zealand.
Real shame.
You've been to a
Yeah,
Hooters?
It's a dream.
I've looked
It's a
in one
Actually,
time
they're like
when I was
there
15.
are-
It was a good
I
time.
feel like there's at least like one topless waiter service in
Yeah, probably in strip
Wellington.
clubs.
Oh, and like sleazy bars.
But yeah, I also liked
Hey,
how
actually, that bar. Sorry, that
The one
there
in
used to be a
North
bar
Shore?
down from me, Oliver.
In
from-
Auckland, yeah.
Browns
Topless
Bay.
Fridays.
It had topless Fridays
Yeah.
where the waitresses used to
That
just
can't, that
What?
can't be
And
allowed.
no.
and Browns Bay.
Browns
it
Bay,
was-
Browns Bay. Yeah, that's
yeah,
exactly
and
what I was
Of
thinking
course in
of.
Browns Bay.
what? So
Yeah.
okay, so you went there every week.
No, I
right?
never
No,
went.
when I was, like,
think
kids and
Oliver
driving
told
by.
me
Were
about
they
it.
actually
Oliver.
were they actually topless?
Jeez.
I've
I
never
never
been.
went. It was just like notorious.
It's not a night. It's like I said sleazy bar 'cause it's known as.
It
like
is
a,
very sleazy.
Yeah, it's
But
what it's
like,
known
yeah, that's
as.
quite funny.
It's legal. To all of the listeners, it's legal for what is it? Stripping. Stripping is legal. Is that right?
Yeah.
Prostitution.
You just mean
Sex work is
Those are
legal
very
in
different
in New
things.
Zealand.
Yeah.
Sex work is
Which I
legal.
think it should be like in America. They always have to like.
This is a,
kind of-
it's a conversation.
This is a
yeah.
whole new podcast right now.
Anyway, it's like it's your body, your choice.
I'm with you. Yep.
So
Here at
it's the
Dexperience.
start of the Pokemon contests, which I thought was fun. Like I got the Pokemon contest vibe with like the Pokemon cosplay, like with the weird Ekans coughing. That
Oh
was
my
horrifying.
God, that
meant
was-
to be an Oma star.
I think so.
What does
yeah.
an
It
Oma
looked
Star
more
actually
it
look
looked
like?
not like that. It
Yeah.
looked more like Galarian Persica to me.
Yeah,
Galarian Meowth, sorry.
it was like scary.
Yeah, it looked like a guy with a beard.
Yeah.
It looked messed up. I don't like it.
But yeah,
Like guys with beards are gross. You know?
Oh, and we
Aren't they
didn't even
just-
talk about like how Gary shows up. With,
I
like,
love
a
how
bunch of adult women to compete.
No, those are his. I
There's
thought,
fans.
That's his
There's
entourage.
I
fans.
thought it was
Yeah.
the same entourage from
Yeah.
Pallet
Yeah,
Town.
Wiz
I think it
Turtle.
was.
Yeah.
And then I loved the
Entourage
I wrote
too?
it down,
No
but
one
I
got it.
accidentally they have that rhyme when they'll like all of like his entourage are like he'll trash Ash. That's how it
Yeah,
is.
he
Like
can.
We know he
He's our
can.
man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
He'll be
what I
ashy.
think is like a
We know he
preteen boy
can.
surrounded by lots of women. That's TikTok in a nutshell.
And on to the next point.
Okay.
None of it.
If you were
Oliver,
on
you
TikTok, that would be kind of funny.
Oliver's got a TikTok.
I do.
And
He has more followers than Dennis.
I don't know.
no, you don't. Not anymore.
I've only made.
Where Oliver and I.
I made one making fun of one of Dennis's TikToks, and I made one promoting Dexperience.
I haven't.
So-
I finally have an
Did you actually?
Instagram.
Yeah, I promoted Dexperience.
Good on you,
Yeah.
mate.
I finally have an Instagram.
Ooh.
He
I
uploads photos.
I upload photos of my dogs and rainy city nights.
Very good.
Cool. You
It's
should
very artsy.
remember to plug it.
He
when
got a
we're done
degree
with
to do that.
Legit. It arrived yesterday.
Now he's doing his masters. It's going well.
I'll start posting in black and white soon.
Um,
Yeah, this episode's interesting, eh?
Yeah.
I kind of dug it for all the wrong reasons, because we've established this before. My humor is not the best. It's quite wrong.
Do you wanna give us some wrong humor right now.
I can't.
Harry?
This is a show for kids. So I can
Is it?
I can
I
just.
feel like it's
It's not
PG-13.
anymore.
For, like,
It's not anymore.
13 plus.
Yeah.
PG-13.
So I can look through content and not be I'm gonna sound like a dick saying this. I can look through content and not be easily offended by things. I can manage it. So I found the humor in this episode fine. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I liked it. And
Harry, you're about to get cancelled.
Squirtle and Starmie as a UFO It really got me happy.
Yeah, it was cool.
I
That was really
love
cute.
that. That's so cute, despite the water sprinkle in your right, Logan.
I
But-
mean, I didn't even read that.
Yeah.
Like, if I was a kid, I wouldn't think that at all. Like, they didn't.
I
guess
would,
that's
but I'm
not the
watching
po-
it
that's
as
not
an
the point,
adult.
though,
and,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
I read it like that, and I was like,
Like
ugh.
a
Oliver?
wet t-shirt.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oliver,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
your thoughts on this episode?
I didn't really like it that much, to be honest. I thought like I mainly didn't like it because it didn't really feel like a Pokemon episode to me.
Oh yeah.
Like there wasn't enough actual the plot didn't revolve around Pokemon
Bulbasaur's
at
a
all.
white tail. What do you mean?
I liked that. I liked the aspect. I loved watching
sounded
Squirtle and
like
Pikachu and Pidgeotto of the Flyers. Bulbasaur as a waiter was like the best thing. I don't like Bulbasaur that much, but that may bring me back a little bit. Bulbasaur just like with little vines holding a plate was like the cutest thing. But yeah, apart from that, like, I thought it was a very real meh episode, to be honest.
The cutest thing for me was when Pikachu stole the boat.
Oh yeah, that was
so
funny.
good.
When
But
they
it's like,
just like
wait,
inadvertently like committed grand
Yeah,
theft
'cause it's
boat.
it's like,
It's
wait,
like-
I didn't borrow the boat. Was it you?
Brock
Like,
was just like, I follow Pikachu on because
it's Pikachu.
It's just like
He's
so
just like
funny.
chilling. He's like
That was good.
sunbathing on the front of the boat.
They're just like
They stole the
driving on the boat, and like no one's like who's driving. How did they get into that situation?
It's an expensive like yacht as well.
Sea Gang's a fun
Wait, it's
episode.
because Mo wants to drive. That's Mo's like
That's Mo's boat.
Yeah.
retirement.
Sorry,
plan.
I got a theory about Mo actually.
Okay.
Oh yes.
So we played the Generation 3 games. I
Yeah.
think
Yes.
you have us
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
played.
yeah.
So Mr. Briny
And Hoenn.
on Dewford
Oh.
Island in Hoenn,
Yeah.
I think could be
The guy with the
kinda
wing goal?
kind of like Mo,
Yeah, I
Oh.
do get
because
that
he's got a
vibe.
boat. He's a creepy old man, and he's gone exploring the world. Maybe he found Hoenn and was like, I like this place. I want to settle.
We should see if the
and then he
characters
called
look
a Wingle.
That
similar.
did cross my mind. Like
Yeah.
I
That's
did
interesting.
think about him, like how he wants to
Well,
travel the
when-
world on a boat.
when we get to Hoenn in about 3 years,
Uh,
we can see.
Logan, final
yes,
thoughts, buddy.
I like that episode for like the funny restaurant part. I just thought it was like weird how Pokemon had a restaurant off. Like that was like the
Yeah,
main
it was,
kind of.
That was fun.
It
Kitchen
was
Nightmares before Kitchen
it was
Nightmares was
inter-
Kitchen Nightmares.
yeah.
Gordon Ramsay's a Pokemon.
It was interesting how this episode
Squirtle,
had like
London.
Fucking raw.
we're gonna have to bleep.
Sorry, move the mic away.
It was interesting how
Can we just lower his
What?
there was so much build up
Yeah.
in this episode. Like you have the
Yeah.
restaurant, and then like even like the beauty competition doesn't come until the last like third ish.
Yeah. It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then it wraps up so quickly. My final thoughts, though, because like I see kind of like how I kind of felt about the whole thing in the whether or not I thought it should be banned.
Yeah.
I had to give one final thought. It's Ash's mum is a
It's
hottie.
smoking.
Yeah.
Oliver, any unsung heroes for yourself
Ash's
today?
mom has got it going on.
Unsung heroes this week go to myself for failing that quiz at the start.
Keep your head up, champ.
Keep your head up, Oliver.
Thank you. That's what I want to hear. Thank
can
you,
do
guys.
it.
Thank you.
You've got this.
I'm proud to have the first bleep in a
Yeah.
Dexperience.
Congratulations.
Wait, what did you say?
I dropped an F-bomb. Don't worry about
Fine.
it.
You have been dropping F-bombs the whole
Yeah, you said one at the start.
Have
You
you
said one at the
not?
start as well.
You've done it for like all these episodes.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Well, then I want to swear.
I want to swear. I'm gonna swear. Poopy. Okay, that was
Thanks, Dexters.
That was
That was Beauty
Dexperience.
and the Beach.
Join us next time for
For
episode 19.
19.
The Ghost of
No.
Me.
It's Tentacool and
Oh, episode 18.
18.
Tentacle and Tentacle.
We haven't recorded it already.
Yeah, it's not like we had a scheduling
So,
thing.
thanks for listening, Dexters. If you're listening during the day, I hope you have the good rest of your day. And if you're listening in the evening, have a good night.
Email us at thedexperiencepodcast@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the.
My name is Chef 51.
Is that your handle?
Yeah,
That's his
My
Instagram.
name is Chef51, Area 51. You can follow me at dennis.ear.lim, dnnis.eir.lim. And also, the Dexperience podcast is on Instagram and Facebook. Follow us for comments and things like that. Anyone else?
Hey, guys,
Thank you very
how's it
much.
going?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye.